what these women did in 1911, was pretty amazing. It would be amazing now, let alone 100 years ago. What did you say? What do you say in the play? She's the most brilliant woman
in the world.
She was an amazing physicist, and she had an amazing discovery about radium and radiation and radioactivity. She coined that word. And she was an amazing woman, inspiring woman in a field that a lot of women weren't. They could only have a certain type of education. So she goes to Paris to get a better education. And even then she was doing a lot of firsts.
And Hertha Ayrton was an engineer and a scientist at the same time as Marie Curie, and also a suffragist fighting for the votes for women. And she happened to be very good friends with Marie Curie. You were a freshman?
I was a freshman in college,
and I was in grad school, and I was directing a show, and she auditioned, and I cast her, and and we've been directing each other ever since.
Yeah, 34 years of directing and never being in the same play.
We've been talking about this for many years. Someday we're going to find the right play to do together. And when I read this one, I was like, this is the one. Because it's about these incredible scientists and the work that they did. But at the heart of it, it's about female friendship. And all of the things that one goes through in life, we've been through together. Yeah. Babies and marriages and divorces and deaths and illnesses and all of that.
And career stuff. We've been through all the things we talk about, and stepping into those roles, we forget about how famous and science-based and all those things. Mm-hmm. We just become human beings. If you were in this situation, what does that look like?
These women are not just sort of icons, heroes, or whatever you want to call them, of this time, of what they did, science. But they were human beings. I mean, that's, I think, what the wonder of this play is, that you're not just seeing them as scientists. You're seeing them as women with children, as lovers, as friends, as people who have issues.
It has been on the list for Redwood Curtain Theatre to do for a while. Now seemed a really appropriate time. I feel like there's a lot in the play that talks about protest, that talks about standing up for your rights. I think that science right now is often questioned, and it's good to remind people that there are some really brilliant people who created things in the world that we are now questioning. So it's important to have science back in the conversation.
Yeah, I think one of the lessons is to just keep showing up, just keep doing the work, because in a way the recognition is secondary. The work itself is the reward, and the discovery and the incredible science and the finding out something that no one else knows. That's where the joy is, and the recognition is kind of secondary.
Women, yes, we're still unfortunately having to prove our worth, but also putting down that baggage that, and just do what you love and pursue it, and let that other stuff roll off your back, to the best of your ability. It's not always sometimes the easiest thing to do in life, but both of these women showed up and did things anyways, and kept going. And at some point they were then given the right path, and things opened up for them. They were, given the ability to have labs and do the work that they were told they couldn't.
I hope more room is created for women in this society, and for getting what we strive for, to be what we want to be and to do what we want to do.
Getting rid of the double standard.
Yep.
Like that's a thing they talk about in the play a lot, but I think it is the same. Like, a man can do something in our world today, and if a woman does it, she's going to get chastised for it or canceled or whatever. But I think that double standard, I really hope that this particular play illuminates the injustice of that.
Yeah. What I feel about this play and this production is that it's making space for women to exist in every nook and cranny of the world, in the professional world, and to fight and do science and do things that are not always expected of women conventionally.
I think the question of the play is, what do we do when we define ourselves by a thing, and that thing is taken from us? And how do we build ourselves back up?
And what it feels like to feel alone in a crisis like that, and needing someone in their lives to help them realize that you're going to be okay, that this too shall pass, and that we all have hard moments, but with a good friend, we can get through them.
In this particular play, it's what's been so wonderful is to see and hear the sound and the lights on this stage, because it's a pretty simple idea of two spaces and just what you can create within that world with lights and sound. There's soundscapes that we hear, that we are trying to create a whole scene with just sounds and lights in a moment.
I would say the one thing that drew me to wanting to direct this show was the fact that the stage directions are so specific.
Oh, yeah.
The lighting and the sound directions, the sound in particular. The sounds are actually described in the script, which is really cool. And because it's so detailed, even when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, I see this. And I immediately was like, okay, I know exactly who my team is. And I know the people that can create this, because it is a very simple set, but the sound and the lights literally take you on a whole journey.
Yep.
You don't, it's abstract. You don't need to be there, and you understand it. It's pretty rad.
Oof. Good Lord! What a world! Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Yeah. I think Marie would just go shovel some uranium and not even watch the news, at this point. I think she'd be like, whatever, you people are crazy.
I think Hertha would be out there at the protests.
That would be.
With the big signs.
Yes.
That's where she'd be. Fighting the good fight.
Yes. Marie is known for not having gone to protest or jail, but she's entertaining the idea here in later parts of her life. Yeah.
Well, I think that they would have hoped that we might have gone a little further, but I think they would be all about the fight,
I don't know that they'd say much. I think they would do things. And I think that's Herta would continue to protest and Marie would continue to research and to support.
Yeah.
I think that they would be action-based.
I do too. And I think they would not just be about the women. I think that they would be about anyone who is not heard or seen.